All right, guys, it's Joey and Nate here. Dixie Doggers TV coming at you. We got another little episode going here. We're gonna go over some stuff today on our gear. You know, you gotta have good gear. A lot of people don't know exactly what gear to buy when they first start out hunting. You veterans and stuff, a lot of this is not meant for you guys. We want you to watch. We want you to support us, but don't take anything the wrong way. Don't start bitching and moaning. Don't tell us what all we're doing wrong, because we're only trying to help. And this is out of, we're taking the time out of our lives to do this to try to help somebody else get into doing and keeping this sport alive that we love. And so, like I said, we're going to go over some gear stuff today. We're going to go over leashes, dog boxes, collars, tracking systems, the whole 9 yards, everything that it takes for us to keep these dogs healthy and to keep them safe in the woods. A lot of people, you think keeping a dog healthy and safe, how does that revert back to a collar or lead and stuff? It does. It has a lot to do with it. It's a very, very important part that it plays in the whole game and this whole scene. If you don't have high quality gear, you might as well just
it will make your life way harder than you could ever imagine.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I've been doing this for quite a few years. I'm not going to say I'm a pro at it by no means, but I've been doing it a long damn time. I've got my own things that I like personally, and there's reasons behind that. But, Nathan, he's been doing it damn near as long as I have, and he has certain things that he likes.
Yeah.
And so, we'll let Nate go over a few of the things that he likes as far as leashes and different type leads and stuff like that, and the applications that you use them for, because there's a reason you have a 2-foot lead, a 4-foot, and a 6-foot lead, tree rings. There's reasons for all that stuff. And we'll let Nate tell you.
Yeah, so basically leads mainly come down to preference of yourself and the application of your dog. So, like, you're not going to have a very long tree lead for your bulldog every time. You can if you hunt around a lot of trees, but if you're hunting off buggies and you're in a field, you could do with a 2-foot long bulldog lead, whether it be just polythene, but that's usually not recommended with bulldogs because they'll chew through those. But you could even do paracord, which are pretty durable. It takes a while for a dog to chew out of those. It has happened with us, but not much at all. Leather ones, you do the cable ones. My only problem with cable leads is usually after a while, the poly sleeve over them gets broke, and then the cable will start fraying, and it will really tear up your hands. And usually, like the loop that you set over your hand, if a dog's pulling, it's not comfortable with me. Our friend Dave Sidoti makes paracord leads. They're long tree leads.
They're the best ones I've seen.
And as far as durability and comfort, they're my personal favorite. And the same thing comes to collars, because I know a lot of older gentlemen, especially who tend to have been around cattle or livestock, they like leather collars.
Yeah.
I don't, because they usually stink more.
Yeah.
And if they get wet, they'll dry they'll dry.
Crack, break.
Yeah. And so you could do paracord those. I don't like paracord collars, but biothane, James Mills, and what is his name? John Van Note. We usually get our collars from those two guys. We usually get the terrier ones from James because he always keeps small ones.
Yeah, and that's and those leads from Dave Sidoti. That's what he made those leads for terriers.
Yeah, they're lighter weight. Like they don't have the very big number 3 chain. It's the number 2 chain.
I use them dragging around 100-pound cane corsos. Not 100 pound, probably 130, 140 pounders. American Sentinels, band dogs, Mastiffs. We used them on all different types, sizes, and structures, from hounds all the way to Patterdales, and they have not failed us at all. They've been the best lead that I've ever had. I was really against the paracord craze. There's still a lot of people that make a lot of paracord stuff, but it just seemed like there for a couple of years it was a big craze. Everybody was making everything paracord.
And then it dwindled out.
Yeah, and then it kind of fizzled out. But Dave, his shit is just, it's the best shit you're going to get.
The thing I really like about those, because you'll get like the 1.5 inch or 2 inch real thick cloth leads, and after those get wet, they get real hard and they're uncomfortable. So like when you're trying to like throw them over your body, they never fit right.
Talking about the nylon webbing kind.
Yeah, the nylon web. That's what it's called.
No, I guess.
But those paracord
we're not
ones,
professional lead makers.
Yeah.
We're just trying to help somebody.
Paracord ones, I'm gonna leave Dave Sidoti's link to his page, Blue Barn Kennels. He has the best leads.
Yeah, I mean, without a doubt, they're. If the only thing I guess is that they're not wasn't quite long enough for me. I think it was 4 or 5, which I think he started making longer ones, and so but you got to get with him. He
makes hand-free ones too.
Yeah, for
terriers.
Yep, he makes break sticks. He makes a lot of things like that, and he's really good at it. Like I said, now you're not going to get now. Keep in mind, you're not going to get it for $5. It's not going to happen. So if you've got it in mind, you're like, oh, I'm just get this right. No, don't do that. I mean, usually his leads are going to be $15-$20. I imagine. I think somewhere in that area. Yeah. But no joke, I've still got the same leads that he handed me 2.5, 3 years ago, and we've used them nonstop. And I've went through. I couldn't tell you how many other leads as well.
We don't have any of the leads left from when we bought them the same day that Dave gave us those.
Nope. They put a couple of them. I wound up buying some more. I don't know what's going on with the dog, but they are fired up. All right, guys. Sorry, there was a little hiccup in the deal there. We had a couple yard dogs decided they wanted to. Act like they ain't got no damn sense out here hollering and acting crazy and stuff. And we're supposed to be the only ones making noise, you know. You think that a dog would know better, really, you know.
I mean, dogs have just so much sense.
Yeah, that's one of them deals. But all right, so we're gonna go on to on some cut gear for your dogs. You know, one thing you got cut vest, strike vest, bay vest, you cut collars. Boar bibs, you got quarter vest, half length, full length. It's all in what you want to do. If you've got a certain dog, that make sure that vest fits properly, first of all.
Yes.
If that vest does not fit that dog, call Southern Cross, Show and Go, 4R Cut Gear, Hardcore, Ugly Dog, or any of these people will get you fixed up. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not throwing plugs out there to say this vest is better than that one or da-da-da, none of that. Not doing that. We're not going to do that right now. It's one of those deals where it doesn't matter who you use, as long as you get that dog fitted properly. That's going to be a big part of it. Now, the longevity and the durability, the consistent durability is one of those things. I know there's 2 or 3 names, and there's going to be people that want to hear them. There's people that, they don't want to hear what we have to say. But, you got Hardcore and you got Southern Cross and 4R. Those are 3 that come to mind for me real quick.
Very reputable people.
All 3 of those, you can't go wrong any form or fashion. They'll make whatever you want, however you want it.
So they've been around it a long time.
They know what works.
They know.
And I mean, like I said, we live in the deep South. It's hot. I mean, it's smoking hot. We have days where the humidity is way higher than the temperature. And I mean, when you get to, 102, 103 degrees and humidity is 85% or more, it's really not even a good idea to hunt. But if you got to take care of business, you got to take care of business. And we don't really have a choice, because even at night, 3 o'clock in the morning, it's still in the 90s.
Yeah,
so
there's been nights when we've hunted and it's literally 90 degrees at 10 o'clock.
Ridiculous. And so you got to really watch your vest and stuff, especially hunting in the deep South, or the Southeast. That is, it just it's a whole nother game here. I know. I've been out in Texas, hunted a little bit in Texas. Never hunted out there with dogs in the summertime. So I don't know how it is for you guys, but I mean, I know a few people, they only hunt when it's a certain temperature or lower, and that's a good deal to do. But like I said, where we're at, it's kind of hard to do that. So you really got to watch running your vest, what type of vest you run. We're making the transition now. We're going over to boar bibs, because all we have pretty much is rough dogs. Drop them on the ground, there ain't much bark, ain't much baying going on at all. So I think we're going to just do that because the quarter vest is about the most that we can use without really putting the heat on a dog.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to contribute any more heat to it when it's already laboring its ass off because it's so daggum hot and humid.
Yeah, exactly.
And you know, it's one of those deals. To each region, it's a different application. But the number one application that is the same in all regions is to make sure of a proper fit.
Yeah.
That dog can move and flow and be an athlete the way it's supposed to be if it's fitted properly. If it's not, that dog's going to walk stiff-legged. He's not going to be able to turn. He's not going to be able to jump.
If it's too loose,
yep,
that hog can also hook him and hold him down.
Wreck him.
And make him pay for it.
Yep.
Make him pay.
Well, hell, we've had that happen in Bay Pen.
Yeah.
Had it where my sister one time, she was trying to really be helpful, and she was handling some of the dogs, and we were in Georgia. No, we were in Texas.
Yeah,
I think in Texas.
Trials.
Yeah, and had a little jag went in there, and the vest was a little bit too loose on her. That old hog hooked her, and it just ransacked that dog. I mean, and of course she didn't know that she was she didn't know that she was 12 pounds, 13 pounds. You know, she was a little bitty thing, and of course she thought she could whoop everything. Which that's why I do love the terriers, like the rough dogs. Ain't nothing ever gonna change that. But what else you got there, Nate? Look at?
Then you go into tracking systems, which is probably one of the most expensive parts as far as just initial investment, but that you'll be the most satisfied with. So 3 of the main ones that most people know is Garmin, Quick Track, and Dogtra. I haven't used any of the newer Quick Track or anything like that. We started out with them, and they don't lie. I mean, once you get under a power line, they're.
And even then, you can still get close as it gets.
Dogtra, you can just download the app on your phone, and then they connect with the collars to your phone. So your phone is the actual handheld, and then you have Garmin. We use the Alpha 100 with TT15s and the TT15 minis. That's what we've been running.
We got a couple of T5s.
Yeah, we got a couple of T5s.
They're, but I mean, and they've all been really great. The technology has come so far from when I first started. It's damn ridiculous
keep
now.
Everything updated and keep everything clean.
Yes.
Good connection points and everything you can pick up properly.
Don't do like I do.
It will pay for itself.
Nathan takes and he comes behind me and he's like, hey, Dad, you got to clean this shit up,
Smell a hole on it.
Yeah, and I'm like, look, it needs to be on that dog. We got to run it. We cannot worry about the mud, but in all honesty, keeping them clean, keeping everything in proper working order, make sure your chargers and everything are working well. You don't want to get ready for a big hunt, go put everything on charge and walk off and just say, well, I'll get it in the morning, and then nothing charged. Make sure everything's in proper working order and make your life a lot easier.
For sure.
Like Nate was talking about, the initial investment with the tracking system.
It can be a chunk depending on how many you're trying to get or how nice you're trying to get. I mean, if you're going to buy it brand new from the dealer, of course it's going to be more than if you buy it from somebody off Marketplace or in a hunting group on Facebook or something like that.
Exactly.
But, I mean, a lot of times with the dealers, you can sometimes make payment plans and stuff like that, so it does help.
Right there.
Right there.
Them folks right there, all you got to do is holler at them, Carolina Sportsman. They'll fix you right up.
Oh, yeah.
They'll fix you up, and I mean, I've bought quite a few things from them, and forever I didn't know what making payments were, and I'm not trying to say that to sound like, oh, I can do this, I got all this or not. No, I was raised to just do without, save a little bit, and go buy what you need to buy, and then figured out, I was like, I need a few more collars, and I was trying to figure out, I was like, well, I can buy one here, and then I can buy another one next month, and and kind of do all that, and they're like, hey, we'll fix you up, man. We'll how many collars you need? And all you got to do is just a little bit, call them. They'll get on the phone. They'll do it right there, and it don't take just a few minutes. And next thing you know, you'll have your new Alpha sitting at your door and a couple collars.
They have really good customer
You'll have
service.
a payment. Payments weren't bad at all. I mean, I've only bought a couple, but I've bought other stuff
Yeah, bought the big antenna.
Yeah, my wife, she got me the drive track. And that right there, that's another thing right there. You know, we didn't have any of that when I first started hunting. I mean, that drive track, you put it right there on the dash, or where we stick it on the windshield of our buggy. And I mean, which we've got 2 handhelds, and that's another thing. A lot of people, I'm not gonna say a lot of people, but I didn't really know that with the drive track that you had to have. It was basically like a Bluetooth deal. You know, it's not a tracking system in itself, but you if you've got your handheld, you can leave it right there or within a certain amount of feet, and it'll pick everything up and it shows it on a bigger screen. We happen to have a couple of handhelds, and so it worked out great for us. But if you only have one handheld and you have to leave more than 20 or 30 feet, I think, with the drive track, then it's not going to pick up anymore. So, you need to research all this stuff. Don't take our word, at face. Just, all we're doing is we're trying to give you what has and hasn't worked in our experiences. And that doesn't mean that that's going to be every time. I've got brand new collars from Garmin, plugged them up, they charged the next day, would not work. Had to send them right back in. I've got collars from Garmin that I've had for 12 years and never had not 1 second's problem. So it's electronics. I mean, it happens.
Oh, yeah.
Shit works, shit doesn't work. Like sometimes, I said, plug it, unplug it.
Yeah, turn it off and turn it back on. Sometimes it fixes it.
It does. You remember when I had Dutch and Drago? I didn't have a tracking system then, and I was like, well, I just got started going good. I was like, well, he's down here this evening. Throw these dogs out and see if we can't get one running. And yeah, they did. I learned real quick. These hills and hollers, you better have a tracking system, because we didn't know what runners were then. Like I said, I hadn't been hunting a long time. I'd been hunting for a while with my buddy Clay and other guys, but I hadn't been hunting on my own very long. And so, I mean, hogs would take a bay like it wasn't nothing. Then it got to where they were getting educated, and once they started running, you better have your tracking system. I mean, because unless you got a dog that just, he's not going to go far and come back, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's your style of hunting. I like one that's got some bottom to it. I want him to stay with it. But it's a hard thing to do sometimes when you're trying to justify spending $1,000 right off the bat just on that tracking system, not including.
Yeah,
I mean, if you got a couple of dogs that you're training yourself or got somebody else helping you train, you're looking at $2,000, $2,500 to really.
Oh, yeah, you can tie up some money.
That's just like kind of pretty much the basics of what you would need. Your leads, your cut gear, or strike gear, bay gear, whatever. Then your tracking system. I mean, you're looking at $800 just for tracking system. Then vest.
And a collar. Yeah.
Vests, they start at, you can buy some as cheap as $60, I think. Yeah. Like some certain strike vest. Cut collars are usually $25, $35 and up. But there's the cut vest, like I said, depends on what level you want. You can get some that they're Kevlar, they got impact gel, they got everything that you can put on it. They're almost bulletproof. And they're not going to be $60. You're probably looking at $260. So, try to research everything, figure out what you need, what you don't need, what's going to work best for the application and the style that you're going to hunt. So, what else we got?
Next thing would be dog boxes. Like, what are you hauling your dog in? You don't want to have a little bitty plastic crate and you have a very high-strung bulldog, because he's going to chew through it. And if that's in the back of your truck and he jumps out while you're going down the highway, that could kill your only dog potentially. Or if it gets out in the truck and you're in a Tahoe or something like that and he takes a big old shit in the back, it's not a fun experience. No. So, I mean, I've seen dog boxes built out of almost anything from regular plywood to just wood to street signs.
I think say one of the best dog boxes, wasn't the best looking. One of the best built dog boxes that I seen was mostly out of aluminum street signs. It was lightweight, put together well. But like I said, it wasn't the prettiest thing, but it's pretty damn cool though, because the way it was put together. So it's
I mean, and then you can go to like, are you just hauling 2 dogs? Do all your dogs get along? Because if you run a bunch of Couriers or something that's a little bit more mellow and doesn't have as much dog aggression, you could have a dog box that sits in the
over the
bed
rail.
of the, yeah, over the rail, and you could put 10 dogs in each bay, and you have a bunch more storage. Or if you got dogs that aren't dog aggressive, but if one's constantly bumping to them and get her riled up, then you might even need to switch over to a dog trailer with 6 or 8 bays on it.
Yeah.
And that helps a lot.
Yeah, we've run a dog trailer for years, which we run dog boxes as well also, but like, you know, you can buy dog trailers that are custom built, spend a lot of money on them, and in all honesty, you know, if that's what you want to do, a lot of people aren't handy. A lot of people can't just go outside and weld. A lot of people can't, they don't have carpentry skills, you know. One of the first dog trailers I had, this guy, he was not a carpenter. It was a wooden dog trailer, but he was a trim man.
Oh yeah, he was a hell of a trim man.
I
Trimmed her
mean,
out.
this scandal right here, I told him, I said, I thought you wasn't a carpenter. He said, I'm not. He said, I'm a trim man. He said, you see that trim work? I said, well, yeah, I see the trim work. Trim work looks pretty
Pulled
damn
it off,
good.
and there was gaps on
Oh,
each end of the
hell, it
board.
was, shit, you could throw a dog through the gap, but the trim looked excellent.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
you know, don't ever underestimate your electrician. You know who I'm talking about. You know exactly who I'm talking about. You know who you are, don't you? Exactly. I thought you did. I still got the dog trailer, but I did have to take the trim off.
Yeah,
Had to redo it. She's in the process now. But I guarantee you, we can't put the hogs in this building that little dog trailer is hauled home
Oh yeah.
with all them dogs. And, you know, it's all our dogs are real high strung, and some of them were real bad dog aggressive for a long time. It took a lot of selective breeding to get it to work the way we wanted it to what we really need, the performance level, and to have, you know, the tolerance level.
For them to be able to manage their drive onto more prey,
Because
and realize not every dog is also prey. Not
Exactly.
and all the way down to no
But that's
dog
terriers.
is prey. Yeah.
when you're dealing with terriers, that's the kind of stuff
Oh,
that
yeah.
you got to deal with.
Because a lot of those people over in Europe, they let the dogs fight. They'll match them up and
Yeah,
establish
they'll-
a pecking order. And I'm like, that seems counterproductive to me. Because if your dogs get out on the yard, they're going to kill each other.
Oh yeah, and I mean, and I'm not gonna sit here, and I know there's a lot of you guys that have hunted for years. You know what I'm talking about. You get out and you got a new spot you're going to. Everything looks good, man. Hog signs everywhere. You dump the dogs out. They take off. Next thing you know, you're like, look, they're 150 yards, and you're like, damn, they're set down. But you don't hear no barking. You already know what's happening. They're out there fighting. Ruins the whole damn thing. So the dog aggression was a hard deal. We'll get on that in another episode. We'll get to how we got a lot of dog aggression out of some super dog aggressive dogs through selective breeding and through culling.
And also on the dog boxes, diamond cut is your best friend and your biggest nightmare all at the same time. It's very durable, it's tough, and it looks good. But it gets hot. And if you stick your hand on that dog box when in the middle of summer, it's going to burn you up. And if you don't have adequate water or you don't have a gallon milk jug frozen in there so that dog can lay on it, they will heat stroke in the box. It's happened before, and most times before you even realize it.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the thing. There's a lot of times that like heat stroke happens, and you know, you hear guys like, "Man, I don't know what I could have done different. Why I didn't notice it." And I did. They're not the only ones because it's happened to us.
Yeah.
By the time you notice it, not every time, but sometimes it's too late. So, you know, it's talking about that hot ass dog box. Look, the worst thing. Reaching over it. Reaching up there to get you a beer out.
Touching that little...
Right there on that underarm. Lord have mercy, it'll be bad. That son of a bitch will make you holler and scream in a minute. There ain't no doubt about it. So we'll touch on some trucks, and we got some trucks and buggies, the kind of vehicles that you're doing. I like when I first started hunting, everybody was on 4-wheelers. And then it's kind of, it went, you know, then it was trucks, and then it was buggies, and it's went back and forth. So, you know, it's all in really what you want to do and what is comfortable for you, and also what the landowner if it's private land, what he likes and what he doesn't like. You know, on your vehicles that you're using, like I said, you got 4-wheelers, trucks, buggies, you got custom stuff that you build. A lot of landowners are particular. You know, for instance, we went down there to Demopolis, and this guy just had his roads done. You know, I mean, and I don't blame the guy. He didn't want any trucks on him at all. But he didn't mind if a 4-wheeler was on it, but he didn't want any trucks or buggies. Now, that doesn't make any sense to me because they're all going to do the same amount. So we didn't even put anything on it. We just walked. You know, to me, that was the best outlet. But, I mean, you got to take into consideration, the terrain that you're hunting. If it's just flat land, wide open land, you make it whatever you want to make it, whatever works for you. Personally, myself, where we hunt, pretty much a combination of all of those.
Yeah.
Where somebody's got a 4-wheeler.
All of them have their place.
Yeah. So, we got 4-wheel drives, trucks, and then we got a Ranger crew. That way, everybody can be mobile. And then if you get in a spot wherever you dispatch the hog or whatever, might have to unhook the drop the gate and get the old 4-wheeler out. Because it's kind of hard to take a 4-wheeler, a truck, and a buggy and follow each other all together, because
You dust each other out.
Yeah, you're dusting each other out. The speed, which you're gonna do that with about anything. But if you got 4-wheelers, y'all can get on each side of the road. 4-wheeler and a buggy works a lot more than a truck and a 4-wheeler, But it's how many dogs are you gonna haul? I mean, I've seen guys with a damn Honda 300 4-tracks. That son of a bitch will have 10 dogs on it. I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, everywhere.
Clip to the front and the back, and I mean, like it ain't nothing. I can't do that. Them some guns are gonna be fighting, jumping off the buggy, hanging themselves, whatever. We got rigging rack on our buggy. Usually we can carry 8 or 10 dogs pretty comfortable. Yeah. But we do have we are on the smaller side of dogs. Most of our dogs are 50 pounds or less. Average is probably 30, 35 pounds, really. Yeah. We have a few of them that are, in the high 50s, but most of them are smaller dogs. And, it's not that hard when you do it like that. But like I said, now when I first started, I got me a truck. Remember the old green truck? Got it. Bobbed the bed on it. I mean, I had racks built on this thing. It was nice. It's probably the nicest rig that I've ever owned. And man, didn't nobody want me to drive it. They were like, "Can y'all bring a 4-wheeler or something besides that truck?" And I was like, "Well, yeah. I mean, when you," I said, "Yeah, I'd like, yeah." We was trying to make it
accommodate to them.
Yeah, I was trying to make it
letting us hunt.
Yeah, they let us hunt. So, but then again, if you go out through the edge of a hayfield and it's wet and you're in a buggy and it starts spinning, it's going to leave a rut. So, just because it's a buggy doesn't make it better. To me, it doesn't. It's still doing the same thing. Yeah. If you're on a 4-wheeler and it starts spinning, here's the deal. Stop. If you're in a truck and it starts spinning, the truck's going to be heavier. Therefore, it's probably going to do more damage quicker. But if you just keep going, it's going to cause damage. So that's where the common sense factor and the self-respect factor, respecting your landowners and the property, that's where that comes into play. Because if you don't have all those together, then number one, you ain't shit. You don't need to be hunting. Number two is just, like I said, just common sense. If it's tearing stuff up, stop. Get out, walk, turn around, go the other way. Easy. Oh yeah. That's what you got dogs for. For real. If you gotta go every inch, take them dogs there, and you can't kick them out and let them go find something. Well, sign or not. I mean, everybody's different. Doesn't mean that I'm wrong. Doesn't mean that you're wrong.
There's different ranges of dogs, but they should leave your feet to some degree.
Oh, yeah.
You should not be walking within 10 feet.
We got to get on a different page on that, because you already know what's going to go on. I ain't going to be able to control myself. And then start talking about, oh, that son of a bitch right there is a go yonder dog. Yeah. Go yonder. Okay, I understand. What's your yonder, though? Is your yonder over yonder by the back of the truck? Or is it over yonder by Nancy's house that's, 3.5 miles over there? Because it goes every way. So we can't get talking about that, Nate. We got to do that's a whole nother segment, whole nother show.
Yes, it is.
Got to, because I'll get all fired up. I'll turn red-headed again.
And speaking about walking with dogs, next thing is the boots.
That transition. There you go.
I'm going to be a professional.
Yeah, we're pros. We're getting there.
So it pretty much depends on climate and terrain. So if you're hunting in a swamp, you're probably not going to wear loafers. Just throw that out there. You're gonna get pissed off pretty quick. Cause
don't say no. I can't say no.
Yeah. I mean, I have personally during the summertime, I wore swimming trunks and put a belt on, put briar-proof chaps, and wore tennis shoes.
Yep.
Because I knew I was gonna get wet because we hunt in mountains with creeks, and there's a creek at almost every bottom. So that's one thing I did to keep cool. But a lot of times
everybody's different.
A lot of times now, like a 10-inch hiking boot is usually what I prefer because it's a bit more mobile, and if my feet do get wet, they dry out pretty good, and that they fit. So when you're jogging down the hill trying to hurry up or going up, you got more ankle support, and
hilly and dry terrain
fall over on my head. I've done it before. Then you have chaps. You can get just regular briar-proof chaps, or we have some boots. We have some non-insulated ones and insulated ones
that the chaps are attached to.
Yeah.
You know that you got.
Some people call them frog legs, whatever you want to call them.
There's Yoder makes them. Dan's makes them. I mean, there's all different.
Yeah.
Muck boot. You know, you can get a different type boot put on the chap that you choose. And I mean, you got a big selection of those.
You have to be careful and pay attention, because just because the chaps are attached does not mean there's a waterproof seal. Sometimes it's only waterproof to the top of the boot, and then you step off in a creek mid-thigh, and you get soaking ass wet.
Yeah, because that's happened quite a bit. But you know, you remember back. I mean, and look, guys, not everybody can afford to go out and buy all this stuff. We didn't. I didn't.
There was years we hunted in regular square toe work boots.
Oh, first time I went to Fin and Feather Lodge in Mississippi with Tim Harrington. He asked me, he was like, "Hey, y'all got good wet boots and stuff?" I was like, "Yeah, hell yeah, I got them." I did have them in the truck. And we jump out, kick the dogs out. Now, keep in mind, this is over around
Stark Vegas.
Vegas. It's flooded river bottom, and you can go on and click the video. It says Boar Hog Stuck in Starkville. That's the video we're talking about. That's the first time that we went over there. And we took off, and all we had on was work boots. Yeah, I regular leather work boots. They run through a swamp.
Trying to get up there and get the thing assessed because we were taking people with us.
Yeah, we had several new people. Well, that's how I found you, because you got up ahead of us. I could hear the dogs. I was like, where the hell did they go? And the water was almost knee deep. Yeah. Well, in places it was waist deep. But I got up there and there was a boot floating. And then about another 100 yards, there's another boot floating. I was like, well, we're on the right damn path now anyway, so...
That's usually the job I take in that scenario. I go up there and assess the situation.
Yep.
Because if they're on a little pig, I don't want 10 dogs on it just maiming it.
It happens.
Yeah, but it will happen. And also, if it's a huge boar hog that the dogs don't have control of, I want to go in there and say, hey, y'all need to be paying attention. Or if it's a sounder or something like that.
Yep. Yeah, you definitely need to do all that stuff. But briar-proof, where we're at,
Briars are very prevalent because we have a lot of cutovers.
We hunt a lot of cutovers, a lot of reclaimed land where it's been stripped and they come back and planted pines. Them damn briars, they just take over. Especially if somebody leases it. If the mining company or whatever, they keep it. Usually they do a prescribed burn every so often, so it's not bad.
Every 5 to 10 years usually.
Yeah, but
a lot of briars can grow up in 5 to 10 years.
Yes.
Trees might not grow that much, but briars.
And that's one thing. Productive. I know we talk about Texas a lot, like a comparison.
There's no comparison.
Briar proof ain't gonna help your ass in South Texas. Ain't nothing gonna help you in South Texas. Nothing. The only thing that's gonna help you is one hammer-headed, hard ass bulldog that goes in there and knocks them out,
and a flamethrower.
Yeah, and because man,
burn your way through it.
Which I had a damn coon, and it didn't go 10 feet inside this off of a Sendero, a little 2-track, and I can see it. I'm looking under there, but I could not get to. I'm sitting there trying to go through.
Everything just grows. So
it was
thick
ridiculous.
Together,
everything will stick you and stab you,
and it hurts.
Even out in the middle of the path, out in the fields, it's like a
kick up a twig and it comes back and pops you in the back.
It hit me in the cods, and that
color snake bit.
Yeah, I was done had me a damn hysterectomy going right there, whatever you call it. That son of a bitch, when you shot that deer out there a couple of weeks ago, it was out in the middle of just a sage field, nothing there but 2 weeks ago? Wind
Yeah.
blowing 40 miles an hour, cold as hell. In South Texas now, it's supposed to be warm. We go out there for a deer hunt for them, and I couldn't even walk across the field. I'm telling you, I walked across there, and I don't know, here we got like what we call pasture grass. It's like, like Johnson grass or something. Out there, it's not. It's got razors on it. It will bite you. It'll tear your ass up. So, anyways, briar-proof clothing ain't gonna help you out there. Like I said, not everybody can afford to go out and just buy all this stuff. We're not saying go do that. We're just saying these are things that can help you. Try to make the initial investment. If you know that you're serious about it,
Know you're gonna be in it.
and you know you're going to be in it, go ahead and start planning to get you one of these items every month.
Yeah.
Just I mean,
when you come home from a long day of hunting and you peel off your boot and your
Yep.
socks are stuck to your feet and you see blood spots, you're like,
Yep.
yeah, I probably should get better boots.
$150 more, and you wouldn't have had to worry about that.
Yeah.
Which, it's one of them deals where to each his own. Like I said, some
Okay.
people are fine about it.
Oh yeah.
I know a guy in actually a couple of guys, them boys in South Georgia and Florida, they don't even need no shoes, man. They Flintstone it. I mean, you look like Fred and Barney out there just smoking them. Coming through there, ain't got on nothing but, a pair of damn shorts and a wife beater, no shoes on. Come out, guy weighs 110 pounds, the hog weighs 475. Got 2 bulldogs still on his ear, and he drags him out, throws him over his shoulder in the bed of a damn old Ford Courier or a Datsun. Never seen nothing like it in my life.
Yeah, that's some shit.
But I mean, that's how it is, though.
Yeah.
I would say some names, but I ain't gonna incriminate nobody.
No recrimination.
Snake-proof stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Snake proof is another thing. A lot of times you can find like hiking boots or like snake proof boots that are lace ups that are built also for pretty good hiking. During the summertime, mainly when we hunt, they get really, really hot on your legs.
Yeah.
Really. And then, I mean, even if they fit right, if your feet are pouring sweat and you hunt for a couple hours, you might still run a chance of rubbing some really gnarly blisters on your feet.
Yeah, it can get bad real quick. I didn't own a pair up until a few years ago, and we had went hunting, and I mean, one of the boys almost stepped on a snake. It literally was right on top of us. One of the dogs actually got hold of the snake. If it hadn't been for that little patterdale, man, somebody would have got bit. And it was a about 5 foot long rattler. And after that, wound up getting me a pair of boots, and they were lace ups. I loved them. They were not the most comfortable, you know what I'm saying, but they were very tolerable anyway. Then the next set that I got, horrible.
Yeah.
I mean, they were shit. I didn't wear them just a couple of times. Then I wound up, so I said, you know what, I'm going to buy some of the best I can buy, and I wound up getting some that was several $100s. And them scoundrels, they lasted. They were good. They were just to zip up on the side.
Well, you had those Rockies, and they weren't even snake proof, and you had those boots years before you even hog hunted.
Oh, yeah, I've had them, but I'm just saying that last pair that I bought, not the very last pair, but the pair before that. So I went and bought another pair that laced up and zipped. So that way I could just be lazy and slide them on. And, I mean, it says waterproof on them. They're not at all. You walk across the grass, dude, feet get soaking wet. So be particular on what you buy. Like I said, research all these items that we talked about.
Read reviews and check warranties. Know your warranties on all of your gear, no matter what you're buying.
Yeah, because I never have been one to check warranties and stuff like that. Nathan, he's like, we really need to look into that stuff, Dad. Don't just because you buy something, you pay $300 or $400 for it. It tears up and you got a warranty on it. Well, why not replace it? It makes perfect sense. But I was just
if you don't even know there's a warranty on it.
Yeah, check, make sure, because I didn't even know there was a warranty on several things that we had.
And then by the time we figured it out, the warranty was up.
Yep, exactly. So just keep in mind, be safe. All these things that we have mentioned, these are things that'll help you. Hopefully they'll help you. Maybe I don't want to do anything to hurt anybody, that's for sure, or to make it harder on you. As long as you're out there and you got your dogs out there, you keep them dogs out there in the woods, keep running them, and you'll enjoy life, and you'll start catching hogs sooner or later.
And everything varies where you're at, what time of year you hunt, like what climate and all that stuff. This is mainly just us and our personal preference and what we've experienced.
So, that's pretty much all we got on this episode. Thank y'all for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching for the YouTubers. We want to say thanks to the Right Outdoor Company, John Van Note, All American Hunting and Hounds, DY Outdoors, Lynn Farms, Scent Balls. Check them out. Y'all really need to check that out. Crockett Taxidermy, Tim Harrington Fin and Feather Lodge, Frank Wright Construction. I know there's a lot of people that I'm missing, and sorry guys if I don't have you on my mind right now, but you're in my heart. Please believe me.
Everything will be linked in the description down below.
We'll get you some information
on YouTube.
And if we can get some numbers and stuff to like Southern Cross, Hardcore, and all that, we'll go ahead and try to get that up. But it's really, you need to research everything for yourself.
And if any of you old timers have anything to add, comment it, and we'll add it in later in a later episode.
Yeah, if you got any tips or know any new products,
anything we miss,
anything, feel free to comment, email us, dixiedoggers13@gmail.com. Anything. We appreciate it. Thank y'all.